What's up? Apparently, I'm live. Um, so pretty much what I wanted to tell you. First and foremost, I was watching shit, uh, a video. Crap. It was removed by the uploader, so it's gonna be difficult to explain because it was removed by the uploader. But basically, it was just removed by the uploader. I was playing it, I was watching it. Um, After the intro, after the discussion, after. So, anyways, let me just go ahead and open these real quick. I hate Matthew McConaughey, Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell. I hate them all because they're pathetic. They're losers. They're people that had their reign in the light and they didn't have enough, so they're coming into our generation and trying to take from our generation, our youth, our adults, our younger girls, our fucking successful people. Like, we can't succeed as long as they succeed, you know what I mean? And they had their reign and it wasn't enough, so they're, because they're still on top of it, coming and fucking us, the rest of us over. I heard something. So, anyways, oops. Again, give me a moment. Wow, they. I mean, that's cool. That's fair. I like it. But it's. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's gone. Alright, I don't remember the uploader, but whoever you were, you suck and you're getting owned. You're getting shit on. You're getting absolutely shit on. Right? So, anyways, okay. What was his name? Something about the world of Parker or something. Oh, World of Peterson. That's what it was. World of Peterson. He's a dumbass. He got owned. He got destroyed in a debate. And he uploaded it, and I was watching it, and I refreshed it because it crashed. The page crashed. So I refreshed it, and it said a video was removed. So he pulled it. So, anyways, that was the point. The point was this video here. This was the main point that I wanted to get to. It's called Trees Are So Weird by Kierkegaard. Now, before I play this video, I actually had no, I didn't. So where is it? Oh, it's this one. Duh. I want to play something. Let's see if I can. Okay, perfect. Okay. Gotta do that. Gotta do that. Do that. I think it's this one. Yeah. So watch this real quick. Oh, real quick. I should. What's up, guys? It's Ninja on Ninja. So basically, I have a video to upload. Um, there is a bit at the beginning. It's Parker. No, it's Planet Peterson, and there was a video, uh, and he deleted it. But I was watching it, and I refreshed it, and it was deleted, and my page crashed. But his video was deleted. So, anyways, he was getting owned and getting shit on, getting in a debate. I just wanted to point that out. But anyways, for those of you who watched the stream portion, there's also, I'm recording now as well, so just letting them know. And I'm just informing everyone. Now they're all caught up, I want you guys to watch this video. This was the original idea. This was originally what I was doing. Watch. What's up, guys? This is Ninja on a Ninja, and basically I have a video for you today. Normally I don't really, I post a comment, but my insight has been helping some people, so I find more encouragement to make more videos. But I decided to play a video and respond to it. And the reason why is because when I watch this video, or this maker, I always feel a certain kind of way about it. So, boom. Let me go ahead and boom, more. Okay. We Can't Stop Thinking About Wood by Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Kurzgesagt. That's hilarious. They changed the title. They changed the title. And I have proof, yes. And it's going up, yes. Enjoy the fucking confrontation, you motherfuckers. Ha ha ha. You gotta change your video because it's controversial. You fucking bitches. You sold out. You fucking sell out bitches.
Over a billion years, the ants with the dead.
So I started to watch it and I was like, you know what? Because I have shit to say, I'm gonna just, yeah. For the record, that was all funny. It still makes me laugh. I was trying to say it, and then the video just started playing out of nowhere, and it still cut me off. But anyways, I would normally do this in a live recording, but I don't have the computer to do it, so we're not gonna bother.
Every tree you've ever seen is dead. It turns out the alive part of a tree is just a tiny...
Wait, actually, you know what? That's a good idea. I haven't done it for a long time. And now we're here. So basically, I wanted to do a video. It was Can't Stop Thinking About Wood originally, but now it's Trees Are So Weird. Same video, by the way. They changed the title.
Every tree you've ever seen is dead. It turns out the alive part of a tree is just a tiny paper-thin strip of cells trapped between a dead skeleton and dead outsides. Trees are some of the...
What the? Okay. So, real quick, I just want to say, this is me watching this live. I haven't pre-watched it. There's no I held off. I was going to, but that video that I showed you, that's as far as I got, right? And so I was originally going to watch it, but then I was like, you know what? I should cast it. That'd be way more cool. But I had to go somewhere at the same time, so I was like, okay, I'll hold off on it. It's fine. But I haven't watched it, and the reason why is because I want to give you my pure remarks, responses, retorts towards it. So, anyways,
the most extreme beings on Earth with one of the most unique strategies in nature. On top of being mostly dead stuff, they forge their body out of thin air, they mercilessly crush rocks with acid, and
so what do you mean they forged the body out of...
They forge their body out of thin air.
They don't forge the body out of thin air. I mean, to the very basic and primitive people in the world, yeah, that can be seen, but to someone with a brain, like, this is the thing, this is why we don't go anywhere, it's because we're appealing to them. Okay, so, there's three targets here. Okay, there's either the stupid basis, and you're bringing them up as a teacher, and that's fine. And then there's also what is it called? Psychologists, yeah. Um, and where they kind of go on the forefront and they figure out what hasn't been figured out yet. That's what I thrive on, right? I love, like, I would be an astronaut if I could handle it, but I can't handle it. And then there's people that just kind of create traffic. And what I mean is, they just talk about sports and news and the weather. Oh, he said this or she said that. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. They're not doing anything. They're just reporting on what is instead of what could be or what was. They're talking about what is, right? So there you go. I think that's a good way to break it down. Again, this is live, so it is, was, or could be. That's the three basic target audiences essentially, and then from there you can break them down more to like young kids to adults or whatever. And me, I just knowledge. And even if one or two people sees this message, that's fine because they could be the president of the United States or the world. I want to inform them. I want them to know they're not alone, that there's someone thinking at their level, right? And so this video is for you. If you're one of those people, if you're not, if you're just some bottom fucking beta cuck, whatever, it's fine. But if you're an alpha and you're trying to lead the way, I'm your mentor. Alright, here you go. Anyways.
They mercilessly crush rocks with acid, and they have an internal negative pressure
I didn't know about crushing rocks. That's cool.
that would kill you instantly. So how do
Sorry, I interrupted that.
it? And they have an internal negative pressure that would kill you instantly. So
Okay. Like, we're not, like, that's a, I hate, like, it's like, oh, you're as strong as an ant. And then in reality, the ant isn't strong. It's like, oh, look, it picked up a leaf. It's like the leaf doesn't weigh anything. What the why does the ant doesn't weigh anything either? Okay, but they're not human, so stop judging them off the scale of humans. If they were our size, their muscles wouldn't work the same. They wouldn't be able to pick up this or pick up that because they're weak. You understand? They're weak. They pick up something that weighs nothing, basically. So even if you're a tiny little ant, it's still nothing. You understand? Like the smallest person, what's it called, can lift certain weights, and it's amazing. It's because they're human, though. Like if there were something, I'm not gonna get into it. Anyways, I could, but
how did
I could because I am the smartest man in the world. If you want, you can hit me up and ask me questions about it and buy some fucking teaching time. Don't use up your first trial, basically. But anyways,
trees actually work? Let's go back to the beginning. The ancient battle for the sky. For over 1 billion years, the ancestors of plants only inhabited the
so before I get into this, the reason why I've chose them to do this is because they dive so deep and they're so efficient. They do so well and they're so good. It's why they have a big audience and why they have 24.4 million or 24.8 million subscribers. That's like 25 million more people than I will ever have. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, they do well because they are well. But as you've seen, they sell out. As we've seen, Can't Stop Thinking About Wood now is trees are so weird. So, anyways.
sky.
But yeah, the reason why I chose them is because they're so good at what they do. That was the point. They're so good at what they do. They're so efficient. They're so, and so that's the whole reason why I'm targeting them. You could say, but I'm talking about them. I'm getting involved, and why it's because they reach so much. And my goal is to be a teacher and make sure people don't learn wrong. So it's important to intervene here because they may say something wrong and I need to jump in, or they may say something right and I want to back them up. So
For over 1 billion years, the ancestors of plants only inhabited the sun-drenched surfaces of the oceans. Their bodies were thin and delicate and absorbed water straight through their surfaces, getting their energy through photosynthesis, forging sunlight, carbon dioxide and water into sugar. But about 470 million years ago,
into sugar, plant poop, or basically stuff that we eat, right? Like we like a nectar, okay? We eat it, and the reason why is so that we can walk around and poop and then spread their stuff, because whatever, like their seeds, we eat, digest, and poop them out, and they are, what's it called? The seed. Uh, if you notice it, like basically, there's a reason why when you eat seeds, if you actually swallow a seed whole, you'll shit out a seed. It's because it's made to survive that kind of stuff, intentionally made to survive. Basically, that's nature. And yeah. So, anyways,
they decided to conquer a hostile alien planet, the land. Like green
not really. I don't agree with that. I think the land is kind of like what happened in Mexico and how it became California, and there were Mexicans that lived there, and so the border, what's it called, that they didn't cross the border crossed them, and that's kind of what happened. I think that's what happened here. Like the rocks weren't always part of Earth. I think Earth was just a ball of water, basically, or something, some sort. And then the meteor came down, boom, and then next thing you know, there's land, and then dinosaurs and blah blah, and then another one came down, boom, and there's gold and shit now. But the dinosaurs died, and everything went extinct, and so my point is, this algae or this stuff, basically, it was there previously, like just doing its thing, right? Like it wasn't going, and it had nothing to. The reason why you evolve is competition, basically. You evolve to better yourself. You evolve to get the edge, and there's no edge and there's no competition. You don't evolve. That's what it is. You don't evolve, right? But when there's competition, you evolve. So that's what that was. They went a long time without evolution. Boom, here comes rocks. Now they're evolving. Now they have to change. So I think that's what happened.
rugs with ambition, these plant ancestors began clinging to the ground wherever it was wet and damp. But now, with solid ground beneath and no ability to float around, a new dimension became a place of intense warfare. Up. The higher they grew, the more sun they would get, while starving their competition below. Height became a deadly weapon. The battle for the sky had begun. Until
I don't think it was I mean, you could look at it that way, but I don't think it was intentional. I don't think they wanted to do it to each other. They just kind of did it, and by osmosis, it just happened. You know what I mean?
Till now, plants were built mostly from cellulose, which was great for shape but not for strength, which limited how tall they could grow. Over dozens of millions of years of evolutionary warfare, a group of plants developed one of life's greatest breakthroughs, lignin. Lignin is a macromolecule made of ring-shaped structures. It's rigid, tough, waterproof, and incredibly hard to break down. Concrete in a world made of jelly. It filled gaps between cellulose threads, stiffening and locking everything into place. Lignin gave plants the strength to grow taller and claim the sun for themselves. But of course, now they were competing with each other, which must have been really annoying for them. So, as more millions of years...
True. It's probably very annoying. You know, that would be very annoying. Like when you play League of Legends, it's very annoying. I will say that they don't have any team to rely on, so it's not so bad. They were kind of like us, in a sense. We're a unit. We are the cells united in ourselves, basically, and so we exist like a plant does. And of course, we're all working together, and all the cells are working together to create me. And my consciousness stems from those things all working together. But we can be a plant, and we can exist, and we can work together. And so my point was, they don't have any team to hold them back. It's just them on their own. They're just Michael Jordan, NBA, boom, one man star, right? One man party. That's all people focus on. Even though he has a full team behind him, and if you took him off of the team and put him on another team, he would not be as good as he is. Right? He's good, but he's not that damn good. There's other people there too, but anyways.
With each other, which must have been really annoying for them. So, as more millions of years passed, some plants just went all in on lignin and produced more and more of it, becoming stiffer, harder, and stronger. Until one day, around 385 million years ago, they got the biological equivalent to steel-reinforced concrete, wood. More on it later, but with this magic material, the first trees emerged. Almost immediately, they became the largest living beings alive, shooting up to 20 meters high into the sky, and they
Shout out to Redwood.
only got the largest living beings alive.
Shout out to Redwood.
Shooting up to 20 meters high into the sky, and they only got bigger from here. But this enormous size created extremely hard problems. How did you get water from the
Where's Redwood? Oh.
enormous size created extremely
That makes me sad, Sequoia. I wonder if Sequoia is Redwoods. Because it looks like them. Is there a tree called a redwood?
Yes, there are 3 distinct species commonly called redwoods: the coast redwood, giant sequoia, and dawn redwood.
Giant sequoia. I knew it. I knew it. So, the giant sequoia. I'm watching a video and they are showing me a picture of a sequoia. So that would be the redwood?
Yes, the giant sequoia is one of the 3 species known as redwoods, and its bark is famously a bright reddish-brown color.
I knew it. That's from my youth, my childhood. I went to Redwood Glen. I kissed a banana slug. Anyways, I got kneed in the forehead by a kid named Tom, whose mom used to beat Tom's ass, or Todd. And Todd was a laughing stock, and he was humiliated by people. So anyways.
the hard problems. How do you get water from the ground up to the green parts that do the actual photosynthesis? And how do you get the sugar they produce down to the cells that keep you up there? On the scale of a cell, a distance of a few meters is like you're working in Britain while your lunchbox is in Egypt and your drink in New York.
But they travel as fast as light, technically. Well, that's how fast your neurons and stuff fire is. They fire as fast as light. And I talk this way because I have a speech impediment, so it helps to remain clear to you, even though I can't talk correctly. But anyways, it's just a message. It's just a way to get a message from me to you. That's what that is. That's what this metaphor is. But again, they travel at the speed of light because that is them. They're traveling. It's like, yes, it's if your lunchbox was over there, but you are too. So your metaphor doesn't make sense.
How do you not die? So trees came up with one of the most amazing ways any organism grows and became nearly immortal by accident. A conveyor belt of death. Let's slice an ancient tree in half and get to the heart
You bastard.
running it all. The cambium, a razor-thin, circular zone just a few stem cells wide. These stem cells grow inward and outwards, turning into two groups of specialists. The inward specialists are on a conveyor belt of death, the xylem. With each new division, it's pushing the cambium outwards, making the tree thicker the older it gets. As the xylem cells mature, their lignin production goes into overdrive and they become hard, like a muscle slowly transforming into bone. They begin to hollow themselves out, shedding everything that once made them alive, and then they die. What's left is a corpse, a hard, empty tube. As the tree grows year after year, new
That's what our houses are made out of and painted over.
corpses are layered on old corpses, forming rings of hardened dead tissue. A graveyard of trillions of plant bones. This is what we call wood. Stacked together, they form a giant network of pipes that stretches the whole length of the tree. This network uses the chemical properties of water and a few other tricks to move it with incredible efficiency. Water molecules are, for a lack of a better word, sticky, like tiny magnets, and naturally cling tightly to each other. When one moves, it pulls the next along with it, like pulling on a rope. In trees, this rope starts.
Also, there's a thing called surface tension. And so if you create like in a straw, you're not pulling all of that water up, or you're not linking it. It's connected. You know what I mean? Like it's one stream, it's all connected. If I were to drop a thing, it would go all the way down. It wouldn't get stuck in a bubble or stuck in a little pocket. It would go all the way down the tube. You know what I mean? That's the example for the food and the sugar and stuff. And again, that stuff transfers at least or at most at the speed of light.
Starts in the roots and ends in the leaves that bathe in the warmth from the sun.
Right.
Here, the heat from the sun evaporates 95% of the water that got sucked into the roots from billions of tiny pores, releasing a constant invisible mist of water molecules around the crown of the tree. This process, called transpiration in plants, creates tension on the rope of water molecules, stretching and lifting the entire column upwards all the way from the roots to the leaves. This pull is so insanely strong that it can lift water over 100 meters, which requires sucking forces equivalent to the pressure of dozens of atmospheres, as much as the crushing pressure hundreds of meters deep in the ocean. Nothing humans have ever built comes even close to this power. Even our best machines can't pull water higher than about 10 meters because the negative pressure required to pull hard enough makes it boil.
Yeah, but the problem is, I guarantee that they haven't done it the smart way, which is to what's called make it a straw. Like I guarantee, like they try to make some, like if you built a tube that went like 1,000 meters, I guarantee it'd go just shoot straight up, 100%. But because they're trying to make a whole bucket full of water straight up, it won't work. But if it's a tube or like a straw pulling water up, it would be easier. It's just they want too much, so.
But the water pipes of trees are so tiny and narrow, almost perfectly airtight, that despite the insane suction pressure inside a tree, water stays liquid and reaches the top. As the tree ages,
That's what happens when you have control of the pressure, right? As it rises up, the pressure changes, or there's a lot of shit that goes into it, but anyways.
Old xylem cells eventually stop working and fill up with resins and other protective substances. Slowly, they turn into heartwood, a dense, chemically fortified core that's extremely resistant to decay. The core of a mighty tree.
That's the stuff that they make the people's houses for the rich. We get the crappy stuff, like they eat the hearts of children and stuff. They drink the juice when you have a pregnancy. They take all of that liquid and then they feed it to fucking people in the Senate and the state and shit. Like I guarantee the senators that drink children's heart blood, basically, to stay alive longer.
But water is only one half.
I'm the smartest man in the world, and if I die, so be it. But I want to hold on because I have a lot of wisdom that I want to share to the world. I don't have a student to take over for me. You know what I mean?
Half the story.
And by the way, I don't think I will. Just to let you know, I don't know if I'm gonna have a kid. I probably won't, but.
The sugar produced in the sky needs to be transported to nourish cells down below. And cells from the roots to the leaves need to coordinate and exchange information about damage and growth. This is the job
They don't. They don't need to coordinate shit. You're stupid. You're silly.
of the cambium stem cells that grow outwards, the phloem, the tiny living part of the tree. As the cells of the phloem grow outwards, they separate into 3 teams and make a brutal compromise. The first group are sieve cells, and their grim fate is to become a living transport system, although living is not exactly right. As they mature, they start,
What does it say?
although
Oh, I wanted to read it.
living is not exactly
Oh, I do not think fair. Therefore, I do not am. Good. I'm glad they put it that way.
right. As they mature, they start to destroy themselves, digest their organelles, and even their nuclei that houses their genetic code. At the same time, they hollow themselves out, connecting to the sieve cells above and below them. This goes on until they're a sad shadow of living beings, a drooling, living tool without a brain or arms, unable to support themselves. Only the second group, their companion cells, keeps them alive. They connect with the crippled sieve cells via tiny channels and start maintaining them, sending over energy, instructions, or repairing them if needed. Running along the entire tree, these 2 teams form a tiny and very thin layer of living sugar pipelines and signal cables that stretch throughout the entire body, providing food and information wherever.
Okay, your explanation sucks, because that's basically what the whole body is. Every cell in my body basically exists that way. Skin, it's the same thing. That's why we have skin flakes, is because it's being replaced. We're essentially the same as trees. It's just that we will die sooner because we are independent of the world. We are, you know what I'm saying? And we are of the earth, and we need the earth, basically. And I personally think that we can live for a long time in the right area, in the proper area. But you know, like for example, I think people who like to live at the highest point of the earth live longer. Just as an example. So
Wherever it's needed in the tree. The third team are parenchyma cells, the silent workers of the tree that are carrying out essential labor in the background. Some are like mini pantries that store nutrients, sugars, or water that the tree uses to survive the winter when it's unable to produce food. Others are like mini healers that can repair damage, while some go on the offensive and create toxins and antifungal bioweapons to kill intruders. On top of the phloem sits another layer of stem cells. They're producing a second conveyor belt of death, moving outside. Special cells grow from this layer, and as they mature, just like the xylem cells in the center, they kill themselves for the team, turning into a hard guard wall, the bark.
I don't believe in what you're saying. You're spinning this in a non-scientific way. Can you please stop doing that? Like, they don't kill themselves. They might be killed, or they might become something else. Like they're alive, but they're not alive. They ain't a person. There's nothing there, right? There's no there. So how the hell do you end it when there's nothing to start? There's nothing to start. It's not alive. These are just words, placeholders, but they're doing it wrong. And you're using these words. I will honestly take this video down, and I suggest you remake the video and start from now on forever. Take this into consideration. They're not living. They aren't alive. They have something else, basically like keto, right? Catatonic, or it's like, God, you need food, you need to survive, and that's what it is to be alive. That stress, that moment. And that's why I like video games, because it puts me in those states quite often, right? Basically put you at the edge. The problem is the game is rigged to the point where like your team is AFK or your team is bunk, and that's why I don't like playing the game. Or else I would fucking love it. But anyways, my point is they aren't alive in the way you keep on suggesting that they are alive, and they are dying in the way you are suggesting they are dying. And stop saying that, because it's not true. That will that will make a lot of people not interested. That will make a lot of people stop cutting trees. That will make a lot of people like, oh, I don't like that. I want to starve to death because I don't want to hurt anything. There's nothing there. It's a plant. It's just part of you know what I'm saying. Anyways, because people are like that. You gotta understand, people are like that. We're predators. We eat animals, right? Stop feeling bad for it. Stop feeling bad for life. Stop feeling like, oh my god, life, oh my god. Like, there shouldn't be any connection. Like, life is life. Make it big or fucking die as nothing as you are. Right now, shut up.
Mostly dead kind of makes trees most.
Whoa. My computer fucked up. It's 7. Shit. Stop.
Almost immediately, they became the largest.
Sorry, I gotta find out where we were.
They die. Year after year, a corpse, a hard, empty tube. As the tree grows year after year,
Nope, not yet. Oh,
cells mature, their lignin production goes into overdrive, and they become hard, like a muscle slowly making the of death to two groups of specialists. The inward specialists are on a conveyor belt of death, the xylem. With each new division, it's pushing the cambium outwards, making the tree thicker the older it gets. As the
I think we've seen this.
xylem cells mature, their lignin production goes into overdrive, and they become hard, like a muscle slowly transforming into bone. They begin to hollow themselves out, shedding everything that once made them alive, and
They're not alive,
then they die.
and they aren't dying.
What's left is a corpse, a hard, empty tube. As the tree
That's what it's just a product. That's it. Life isn't living. Living is what is beyond life. Basically, it's your consciousness. Basically, where does consciousness start? How does it work? What is it? Where is it? We don't know, but that's what matters. Not the fact that it's alive. I mean, yes, it matters in the sense that does it exist? Is it somewhere? That's great and all, but stop calling it life. Because what are we? The consciousness. What are we then? We are alive. You know what I'm saying? Like my consciousness to yours. What are we then? If live, or if it is the same to be alive as it is a cell that got killed to turn into the fucking wood, skin, then you don't want to kill ever. But that's not the point. That's why we can kill, because you're basic. Basically, that's why we send criminals to prison, and why we fucking have no problem killing criminals. They're alive though, but you think of them a certain way, or like fuck them. That's my point. And you're making it seem like these trees are something we should be considering for, or some people will. And the fact is, like most people, you shouldn't care for as much, right? You should only care if there is something there, but there's no there, so.
It grows year after year, new corpses are layered on old corpses, forming rings of hardened dead tissue. A graveyard of trillions of plant bones. This is what we call wood. Stacked together, they form a giant network of pipes that stretches the whole length of the tree. This network uses the chemical properties of water and a few other tricks to move it with incredible efficiency. Water molecules are, for a lack of a better word, sticky, like tiny magnets, and naturally cling tightly to each other. When one moves, it pulls the next along with it, like pulling on a rope.
I remember this, because I was telling you that if water is like that, it's like the way that they drew it, that isn't true. Like, let me go ahead and let me go to paint real quick. And remember, kids, I am not good with my hand. So don't be like, oh my god, George sucks. Or your picture isn't clear, blah blah blah. Like, shut up, fucker. Shut the fuck up. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Alright. Hold on 1 second. I have 2 open. Don't save. There we go. Hey. Wrong thing. That was an accident. Boom. It doesn't show. Why doesn't it show? Okay. Oh, you know what? Hold on. That's league. That's okay. Let's do this one. Fuck it. Okay. This is my desktop. Enjoy. So tree exists, right? And then there's the green here. Right. Something like. Goddamn. Something like that, right? Okay. Now, you have the tree in your mind. Zoom in. So basically, this is part of the tree. This is the tree over here, okay? So, anyways, inside the tree, these tubes that they're talking about, water isn't in clumps, like boop, boop, like it, no. It flows as one unit. And so, like, like, what we're looking at is water. That is water. And when you take out of it, or when you absorb some, it's just some from the bottom. It's like it just absorbs in, because that's how pressure works. And when you have no pressure, when you take a little water and you grab some water, you know what I mean? Like, it's elastic almost in a sense. I don't know why the paint's not working, by the way, but so anyways, the point is the water is elastic and it flows. And when you pull, when you take a little, then a little is replaced because some is made, and that's how it works in a vacuum, right? It's like a shoelace. When you pull the bottom, the top move. The bottom. When you pull the top, the bottom moves, right? And when you pull the bottom, the top moves. It's like a shoelace. But the way that they're describing it, it's like spaghetti or like rice, basically. When you pull a little bit, nothing. It's clumped, and you're picking out rice. And no, it's not like you're picking out rice. It's like you're pulling a shoelace. The water is that's water in the system as it flows. If it's just a concurrent amount of water, then it will go up. It's just pressure. It arrives through pressure. And the chambers are so small that there's no weight, basically, because it's such a thin amount, right? And the structure's strong enough to take because there's almost no weight. But anyways, continue.
In trees, this rope starts in the roots and ends in the leaves that bathe in the warmth from the sun. Here, the heat from the sun evaporates 95% of the water that got sucked into the roots from billions of tiny pores.
No, it's like that. What you're talking about isn't. It's not boiling off. It's being converted. It's like it's what we do at power plants, atomic energy, right? And we use water to cool it down. But what I'm saying is that water, there's work being done. And so the steam is proof of work being done. It's not you're just boiling. It's this work being done.
Releasing a constant invisible mist of water molecules around the crown of the tree. This
Right, because something's being done. There's a process underneath that's being done that is making the water steam out, basically.
process, called transpiration,
I don't know why you made up a word to explain what is happening, because it's just natural. It's just water in a system, and then the water is cooling it down inside and making it work, and the steam, it comes off because of the work that was done. The transfer of energy is complete. There's no more what's it called? Um, Heat makes the chemical unstable, and it evaporates. Um, Yeah, it breaks it apart to the point where it breaks apart and becomes steam. That's how it works. But with plants, there's no heat present. What happens is something in water, H2O, the hydrogen or the oxygen or whatever it is, it's probably H2O and becomes H1O, and then you see steam because they took some energy or something from the water. That's why you're seeing it. So I don't know why you're calling it stemma. Like, it's silly.
In plants creates tension on the rope of water molecules, stretching and lifting the entire column upwards all the way from the roots to the leaves.
Wait, what?
Called transpiration in plants creates tension on the rope of water molecules, stretching and lifting the entire column upwards.
That's the pressure I was telling you about. That's not the reason for...
all the way from the roots to the leaves. This pull is so insanely strong that it can lift water over 100 meters, which requires sucking
It's not sucking. There's no sucking involved.
forces equivalent to the pressure of dozens of atmospheres.
But there's no sucking. It's just pressure. This is why steam is created when the pressure changes, and why the boiling temperature changes depending on the pressure. It's the same fucking principle. There's no sucking involved.
As much as the crushing pressure hundreds of meters deep in the ocean. Nothing humans have ever built comes even close to this power. Even
That's wrong. That's completely fucking wrong.
our best machines can't pull water higher than about 10 meters because the negative pressure required to pull hard enough makes it boil.
Look how much water you're trying to pull. Imagine if it was just a straw. You can do a straw. You can't do that, but you can do a straw. That's what a tree does. Except it's not a straw, it's a micro straw. You understand? That's the difference. That's why I can do it. But they do this thing where it's like, oh, well, a tree, and if you scale it up like an ant, like ants are super strong. If you make it human size, it could lift a building. No, an ant couldn't. If it tried to lift a building, well, first off, if you made an ant as big as a human, it'd probably be dead because it couldn't sustain itself. You fucking idiot. You gotta understand, like, it doesn't work that way. You can't just make to one, like math. You must do to the other side what you do to the first side. So if you cut that number in half, then the other number must be cut in half as well. That's how it works. And so if you make it big, it has to survive. Oh, it can't survive, you can't make it big. That's how it works. Period. End of story. There's no pretend, there's no imagination. There's no, oh, imagine how strong an ant would be. No, it wouldn't exist. Shut the fuck up, you stupid idiot.
But the water pipes of trees are so tiny and narrow, almost perfectly airtight, that despite the insane suction pressure inside a tree, water stays liquid and reaches
There's no suction.
the top.
And there's no, all it is pressure. That's it.
As the tree ages, old xylem cells eventually stop working and fill up with resins and other protective substances. Slowly, they turn into heartwood, a dense, chemically fortified core that's extremely resistant to decay.
Where does that stuff come from? They turn into it? How? From what? Where? How? Why? That should be what you're talking about. What you're talking about is some bullshit, dude.
The core of a mighty tree. But water is only one half of the story. The sugar produced in the sky needs to be transported to nourish cells down below. And cells from the roots to the leaves need to coordinate and exchange information about damage and growth. This is the
Okay, so now we're starting to get to where we were before. This is why it seems like I watched it before, up to this point, but what he just said is not true.
needs to be transported to nourish cells down below.
That isn't true.
Core of a mighty tree. But water is only one half of the story. The sugar produced in the sky needs to be transported to nourish cells down below, and cells from the roots.
That sugar exists in the tree entirely at once, because it's the molecules in sugar is what exists in the sustenance or whatever. It exists in a molecular bounds. Like, it becomes sugar because of a chemical process that we don't know about. We know nothing about. I don't even think you're aware of it. Basically, from the sounds of it, you're completely unaware, and you're not thinking. And this is why I'm making this video, because this is the point. And I apparently had a viewer pop in. What's up? How you doing? But the point is, you're not thinking. You're not aware. You're not seeing the bigger picture here. The sugar, you break it down into molecules and chemical, blah blah, and that's what the tree is. Those broken down chemicals. You're not gonna break open a tree and find little piles of sugar everywhere. You understand it? You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I am saying? Do you understand? Like, that doesn't happen. So what we see, like, there's a misinformation from this video, basically.
The sky needs to be transported to nourish cells down below.
No, it doesn't. It all exists in the tree at once.
And cells from the roots to the leaves need to coordinate.
Much like water in a straw, right? If you put a straw and you suck and it reaches your mouth, and then it'll sit there. That's it. That's a tree. It sits there. And it needs more, of course. It absorbs it. It gets put into it. As it draws, it sucks. It doesn't just like, oh, I'm thirsty. It's constantly drinking. That's why an unwatered tree will die. Basically, this is why you have to have water in a planter. For example, there is soil, and soil, what makes it rich is the ability to hold water and just keep the water, and just water just goes and goes and goes. It allows the plant to move, to get through, and it's rich because it's soft, and it's just the water will slowly disappear because it's being absorbed and turned into the plant. There's something in the plant, right? There's something that the plant is doing with that water that we don't know about. This is something you should talk about and find out more about. The plant is doing something with that water that's causing the water to be absorbed into the plant and then evaporated by that epistem, whatever you call that, steam, basically. It comes out as a steam because it's doing a process, and that's what's going on. So, and that process is creating sugar, apparently. So I don't know.
And exchange information
By some plants, I'm sure, but yeah.
about damage and growth. This is the
If it gets damaged, the stuff that it needs to survive is already there because it's a tree. That's what it is.
job of the cambium stem cells that grow outwards, the phloem.
The stem cells?
Job of the cambium stem cells that grow outwards.
That's what the rich drink, stem cells. That's what they get injected and shit.
The phloem, the tiny living part of the tree. As the cells of the phloem,
and not people into politics or whatever. I'm talking about people that are outside in the shadows, the shadow state. Basically, that's what we're in right now. The shadow puppets that are in charge are drinking babies' blood, are drinking hearts from babies. Your abortion, like, they eat it. You know what I'm saying? They consume it. That's where that fucking matter goes.
phloem grow outwards, they separate into 3 teams and make a brutal compromise. The first group are sieve cells and
Okay, we've seen this.
is not exactly right. a living transport system. Although living is not grim, make a brutal compromise.
We'll continue. I accidentally hit the button, but whatever, it's fine.
The first group are Civ cells, and their grim fate is to become a living transport system.
It's not alive. We covered this, and then it resets.
Although living is not exactly right.
Right, correct, because it's not alive. That's what I'm saying. We need to create. It's like consciousness is the life that we're talking about. So that's what life is, consciousness. There's something else to life. It's death, life, and then consciousness. It's not just death consciousness, it's death, life, consciousness. But the problem is that life and consciousness have become one. So, in that case, they became number two. We need a middleman here. What the hell is the life that isn't alive? What do you call that? The summon, I guess. It's summoned, basically. You use it, basically. You're a summoner. You made it, and there it is. It's fake. It's not real, but there it is.
As they mature, they start to destroy themselves, digest their organelles, and even their nuclei that houses their genetic code. At the same time, they hollow themselves out, connecting to the Civ cells above and below them.
I don't know if they hollow themselves out. I'm pretty sure that they just get hollowed out and they get connected. Not so much that they do it themselves. They might. But there's probably a process, is all I'm saying.
This goes on until they're a sad shadow of living beings, a drooling,
Not living.
living tool without a
Not living.
brain or arms, unable to support themselves. Only the second group, their companion cells, keeps them alive. They
Not alive.
connect with the crippled Civ cells via tiny channels and start maintaining them.
I have no problem with calling it crippled, by the way, because it's not alive. It's not living.
Sending over energy,
And crippled can apply to cripple a dead thing. You can cripple whatever the fuck you want.
instructions, or repairing them if needed. Running along
And it's constantly always there. There's no flow. It's just there.
the entire tree, these two teams form a tiny and very thin layer of living sugar pipelines and signal cables that stretch throughout the entire body, providing
There is a flow. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, it's not like constantly going up. It's just, I mean, it's a gradual, it's a really slow process. That's it. Because literally the water is going into the plant and being used and converted. And then if growth happens, that's where it's going. That's where it's coming from, is the shit in the water. Right? From the light, from all this crap, whatever is going on, that's what's doing it. That's where it's going. That's why trees are so important and amazing.
food and information wherever it's needed.
There's no flow. I hate the animation. There's no flow. Like, this is very, again, it's lying to you. The things that aren't alive. There's no life in a tree. There's no consciousness. The stuff is living, but it's not alive. You know what I mean? It's living in the sense that it's there, but it's not alive. There's no consciousness, basically. So, if you kill it, it doesn't know because it's still in the same state. If you kill it, it doesn't matter. This is why you can have a tree branch, rip it off, and the tree branch will stay alive for like a week. Because the nutrition gets cut off and it keeps like the suction goes and it goes away from the wilted part and the tip. It all dies at once, pretty much, because that's how it works. It needs that kind of what's what I'm looking for, that pressure, basically. Anyways,
In the tree. The third team are parenchyma cells, the silent workers of the tree that are carrying out essential labor in the background. Some are like mini pantries that store nutrients, sugars, or water that the tree uses to survive the winter when it's unable to produce food. Others are like mini healers that can repair damage, while some go on the offensive and create toxins and antifungal bioweapons to kill intruders. On top of the phloem sits another layer of stem cells. They're producing a second conveyor belt of death, moving outside. Special cells grow from this layer, and as they mature, just like the xylem cells in the center, they kill themselves for the team, turning into a hard guard wall.
They aren't killed.
The bark. Just like your skin, it protects the tiny living layer from damage, parasites, and invaders. So, what is?
Right, and sickness as well, because again, it's like the hive mind, basically. And again, we are the same thing as a tree, essentially, but we became alive. We have a body with us. Our consciousness is in that tree. It's not, that's why your arm and your legs can be cut off and removed. But, like, whatever, like, you are the operator of the body. This is why, like, my hand's all fucked up instead of just operating perfectly. My hand's fucked up because the operator, the controller of the two, it's not good. So when it's trying to reach, it's like, it doesn't work very well because the controller is fucked up. Anyways, that's another sub-thought. Anyways.
Is a tree. The living part of the stem is really just
It's not living.
this extremely thin and tiny layer, a few millimeters thick, sitting on a thick mountain of cell corpuses, surrounded by another layer of cell corpuses. The thick mountain of cell corpuses, surrounded by another layer of
This is to scale. Okay.
cell corpuses. The vast majority of the biomass of a tree is dead. This is also why you really shouldn't damage the bark of trees, because while it seems you're only doing a little damage, you're actually killing the living part of the tree.
Not really.
But unless a tree is stopped by droughts, diseases,
It depends on how deep your carving goes.
storms, or a human axe, this system of being mostly dead kind of makes trees potentially immortal. They don't age like we do. In principle, they
No, they do. They age like we do. It's just that we age to a limit because our bark breaks down, and so does a tree. Its bark breaks down, but ours just stops growing at some point because we aren't connected to the earth like a tree is. So
could grow this way nearly forever. Which is why we still have trees around that were born when the Egyptians started building their first pyramid 5,000 years ago.
like if we, I personally believe that you can live forever. It's just that you need 100% of exactly what it is, the requirements. If you fulfill your nutritional requirements perfectly every time you need it, like a tree, you could live forever. It's just, do you want to? Your body is going to break down. It's just like a tree. It breaks down, but unlike a tree, it's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. It's not making stuff. It's just chilling. It's sitting there the whole. So, anyways, that's the cost it pays to be immortal. Is you just sit there and do nothing all day.
Really, what kills a tree is the world around it.
No shit, dumbass.
Trees are not a real biological category, but one of the most successful ideas life has ever had, and many different species developed on their own.
No, we all came from trees. Life is the same thing. This is what pisses me off. If you're alive, we're connected. We're connected. We're not the same, but we're the connected because we came from the same place.
These plants won the battle for the sky, solved every challenge that had kept plants small and fragile, and they took over the planet in a few million years. Even today, 3 trillion of them cast their majestic shadows. But we've barely
My computer might crash. Shit. My computer's gonna crash. Yep, it's gonna crash. Alright, thank you for watching. If it does, thank you for watching. But that's it. I'm not gonna go to be well, be happy, be safe, be awesome. Don't let the door hit you, or the Lord split you. And fuck, the computer is so fucking fucked. What happened? I can't. It's running like shit right now. Fuck, I wish I had my PC. I wish I had my PC. Come on, come on. How is 96% of my memory being used? End task. Okay, it's a little bit better. Shit. Okay, my recording stopped, but I'm still streaming. Okay. So, that's fine. Okay, we'll finish the stream then. The video is done, I guess, but video. Anyways, continue.
He covered half of it. On top and below, there are the crown and the root system, one building the tree from air, another mining minerals with acid, and involved in complex communications with fungi and other trees. There's so much more to talk about, so we're already working on the next part. Stay tuned. Trees are truly incredible, but many of our most beautiful forests are disappearing fast, and we're running out of time to protect what's left. That's why we've partnered up with Planet One.
So the rest is okay, the rest is just advertising. I'm not gonna watch any of it. But anyways, that's it. Nothing, this is what I'll do. So you have something to look at, actually. Okay. So, yeah, long story short, they're not alive, they're not dead. Trees are just, again, there is death, there is consciousness, or I'm sorry, there's death as something, and then consciousness, as we know. But it's death, life, consciousness. But the thing is, life and consciousness became synonymous with each other, and so they're basically the same. Synonymous? I don't remember that word, but anyways, they're the same thing. So we need another word for that in order for it to exist or for you to understand. Most of what you said is not true. Pressure exists, straw, and stuff like that. So, anyways, that's it. I gotta see what the hell happened. My computer crashed. But take care, be safe, God bless, to stay strong, be loved. Um, if you climb the ladder, then please don't pull it up behind you. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's it. Don't let the door hit you, or the door split you, and peace.